What was your favorite thing about Australia?
Oh, man.
Or favorites?
I try not to make lists because lists change every 5
They
minutes.
absolutely
depending
change.
on where your brain's at.
Yeah.
I mean, the nature was amazing. Even with, which is funny for me because I'm not normally like deep into like nature is amazing. I love it. It's beautiful, but like I don't want to be surrounded by it all the time.
We're so opposite.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
I'd
great.
be like, I can live here. I'm going to stay out here. The reason
There
I
are
like
bugs.
it here, there is nothing.
They're bugs.
Whoa, mate!
What?
What are we doing here?
Oh, wow.
Are we upside down?
This is crazy.
Oh, no,
that's
that was my
terrible.
head
That's
not
not.
falling off.
And why
Yours
is my
was.
accent so bad?
Let's spin ourselves
all right.
over.
And they're gonna just not. We're both going different ways.
Hey!
We did not rehearse that.
We did not,
And
but
we're
we
so
knew that there
good.
was going to be a little bit of a gag with being upside down because guess where we just were?
Where?
I don't know why I'm looking at you. Guess where we just were? We were in Australia, mate.
That's right.
Which is why we're wearing all this gear.
And you can do that accent way
I
better than I
can.
can, and I'm not gonna hurt myself.
I can get into a groove. I could understand living there and starting to talk like that.
I could only do it when I didn't think about it, and the minute I thought about it, it would fall apart at amazing speed.
It's just a great accent, mate.
It is.
That's not it.
I can't.
Sometimes I have to be doing it for a while, but I don't want to be annoying people till I get to that point. But I can kind of do it.
You're actually you're pretty good. You're pretty good.
Out of our group who are so good at accents, it's weird.
You were
I'm the only one who can kind of do an
Yeah, you were the
Australian
one
accent.
who was holding. I mean, our official Australian Tom Cardy gave it.
Our official Tom.
Also our official Tom.
Our official Tom Cardy, our official Australian.
Yeah.
Who set me straight pretty early on because, so we were in Australia, for those who don't know. We were playing 2 live shows, one in Sydney, one in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to meet a bunch of fans from Australia.
Yeah.
And anyone that was close that was able to come to those shows. And it was amazing.
We got to see a little bit of the country.
We got to see a little bit of the country.
I could have spent another month there and been very content and happy.
Same. You spent a little more time.
I got there early and then left a little early. So, because I know a lot of people stayed late and did a few more days or went to New Zealand to have the Hobbit experience.
I wanted to do that so bad.
Yeah, I mean, but I've barely been home, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've barely been home and we needed. I know when I make the trek to New Zealand and I want to go, for Hobbit Day, I want to do the whole thing. But I feel like when I go there, I'll just be like, well, I'm not coming back. That's it for me.
I
I'm
don't
here to
know.
stay.
My mom went to New Zealand many years ago, and she was like, had that moment of maybe I won't want to come back. She got there and was like, it's so dull. She's like, even I, yeah. There's like, no, there's just nothing. I'm like, oh, it's very pretty though. Like,
God, it's just Australia is gorgeous.
it is gorgeous.
It's so stunning. The nature there is just so beautiful. But I think, okay, let me just see where we even start here.
Okay.
So
hold on. I'm.
Are you derobing? Are you taking off?
I want to see how terrible
stop
that is.
insulting the. I mean, listen. I love these hats.
I actually, I specifically, I'm trying to remember. I borrowed a hat from a friend. I borrowed a hat briefly when I was out there because it was hot, and got commented on by people on the street who found out I was American, who were like, "Oh, and you're wearing the good hat. Well done." I was like, "Oh, that's actually that feels like an actual Australian hat." I was like, "I can't tell the difference,
like,
but clearly you can." I should have stolen that hat. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, next time.
Next time.
Well, our first live show.
Yes.
What I was saying. There is a song that I sometimes sing. That is an artist from Australia. I'm blanking on his name right now, but the reason I know the song is because of an SNL sketch with Mike Myers and Nicole Kidman.
Wow.
Where they play kids, and she sings this song, "Tie me kangaroo down,
Oh, yeah.
tie me kangaroo down."
Tie
And
me
so-
kangaroo down.
yeah.
Tie me kangaroo down. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So I was like gonna sing that at the live show to be like, "Hey Australians, I know stuff, you know, I'm cool, I'm hip."
I feel like we sang that song at camp or some such. Or
Yeah.
maybe it was on Dr. Demento, who, by the way, just retired for those of you who are now going, he just retired and is still alive? Yeah, that's a thing. But I feel like that was something he played on his show.
It could be,
Yeah.
but I guess he was like, "Oh, don't sing that, mate. He's a pedophile." And I was like, "Oops."
Oh,
So
not Dr. Demento.
not Dr. Demento. Sorry, whoever's
yeah.
saying.
Whoever's saying,
who's
are we
this?
really going to look up and out somebody on?
Paris? Is that?
Oh.
What is that? Who it is?
It was online. 1957.
Tie
Wow.
me kangaroo
Yeah.
I don't want to start throwing out names.
down sport.
Yeah, no.
I'll recognize his name. I think when I say, yeah, I think it was Rolf Harris. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, it's 57. Then
I
we can
guess-
say that then. That's fine.
I guess he was not a good guy.
Yeah.
So
Well, he tied a kangaroo down. That's kind of fucked.
yeah, and I was still trying to understand the song where it was like all different metaphors, I guess, and then it's like wallabies.
Maybe it's just about tying kangaroos up, which should have been,
Maybe.
again, should have been a
It's a
sign.
pretty dark song if you continue to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, apologies. But I think from
Wow.
the time, I mean, I was
I'm
there
amused.
for 2.5 weeks because I actually went out there early too, but I just was in Sydney.
And I was
we went to go to
actually,
other parts.
yeah, and I went to Brisbane where I was far away from it, and then
Because you have
and
some
then,
family that lives in Australia.
I do. I have some family that lives in Australia, and they have
So
been
cool.
telling me that I should visit for a very long time.
And I
they
got
are
to
correct.
meet some of them.
You did. You got to meet.
And
a,
they're
a
very
few.
cool.
They are super. Oh well, I mean, my whole family at this point.
Your whole family
They're pretty
is
cool.
just very cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and a few I had never met before, which was fun. And then yeah, and
There's like a set of triplets.
apparently.
Which is just a phenomenon to me.
Yeah, they're
Getting
adorable.
to see them all together is just so exciting.
Yeah, not identical. Just
Not identical.
Just yeah, just like it feels that God, they're gonna hate this.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry I'm bringing you all up.
No, it
but
feels
you all were very cool.
like meeting them felt like one of those 1970s like shows where there's a family that's also a band. If you know what I
Yes,
mean.
yes.
Where like I felt like the three of them should each play a different instrument and like all
100% they should and put out vinyl and
Yeah.
like put out the whole thing and they do
and
amazing
play
harmonies.
on the Ed Sullivan Show or something. I don't know.
I
Or
love this for them.
yeah, but not that they're musical that I'm aware of. They're just great.
Well, maybe
And
there's
then-
still time.
yeah.
They were very young.
Yeah, that's fair. They were. I mean, like they were. You know, I think in their late teens, or early 20s.
So I have in my family. This is
No, please
just to be
bring
all,
it.
So I have a niece and nephew that are twins, niece and nephew, and how many times they get asked if they're identical is amazing
But
to
they're
me. I mean, one's a boy, one's a girl, so they're not they're fraternal.
mm-hmm.
One, they have different different stuff going on, different parts. But it is amazing to me how people are like, "Are you guys identical?"
Maybe
It's like, no.
is it Chimera is the one where they're like where you accidentally absorb your twin? Like I say accidentally, maybe you do it on purpose.
Maybe they do it on purpose.
But
when they're
like
in
maybe they were
We don't
going
know.
to be Chimera and then like they just like gnawed each other out like getting out of a bear trap.
Yes.
You never
Incredible.
know.
You never know.
Chimera's amazing.
But anyway,
It's a whole
also
thing.
on that, there are some incredible singers, musicians
Mm-hmm.
that I have been a fan of for a really long time that are from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And they were playing there after I was gone. They're called the Veronicas.
Good name.
They're great. And they're twin sisters.
Oh,
And
is this
speaking
the
of, so
is this
might
the
just
flow
be-
through? Well done.
This was, yeah, I really tried to give us a theme here so far.
No.
But they're great. If you haven't listened to them, their biggest hit, which I think was, I mean, they've had many hits.
We should
but
put it
I
on the
think
playlist.
Untouched was like their first single in the 2000s, and they were just like rebels, and they were cool.
We have a playlist. You can throw it on the
I
playlist.
know. I might put them on there.
Yeah. I want to hear.
But
Yes.
to say, what was your favorite thing about Australia?
Oh man.
Or favorites? It's
I
hard
mean,
to be
there's
like,
I try not to make lists. I always
Yeah.
try. Because lists change every 5
They
minutes
absolutely
depending on
change.
where your brain's at.
yeah.
Oh boy. I mean, the nature was amazing. Even with which is funny for me because I'm not normally like deep into like nature is amazing. I love it. It's beautiful, but like I don't want to be surrounded by it all the time.
We're so opposite.
Yeah, no, I mean it's
I'd
great.
be like, I can live here. I'm gonna stay out here. The reason
There
I
are
like
bugs.
it here, there is nothing.
They're bugs.
Oh God, I don't even care.
Yeah, I know, I do. But I love that everything is dangerous. Like literally everything.
Yeah.
Everything
Yes.
is dangerous. I would like there were plants that literally I was told please don't touch that. And we're like, why? It was like because then we'll have to take you to the hospital just from touching it. Yeah, don't touch it. Don't. That's
Wow.
just going to be bad. It's a tree. Oh boy.
Yeah, but just don't.
Yeah, and then like the tarantulas, which I love a tarantula, and they're like not that one. I'm like, oh, okay. Like don't get anywhere near that.
They're just
They're like if it moves or if it grows, just don't touch it if you don't know.
yeah.
I'm like that seems extreme.
I mean, generally, if there's a bug, I wouldn't touch it anyway. I'm not a real bug guy.
That's fair.
I like, but the thing is, I like tarantulas because they have hair.
Yeah,
And
no,
they're kind of cute.
they are kind of cute.
You know, but oh man, I was walking in a park.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was, I want to say it was Hyde Park. This is in Australia. This is in Sydney. And there were plants they were kind of shrubs. And the sun was coming in. It was like the sun was going down. So in the shrubs, there were the biggest spider webs
Oh,
I've ever seen. Like just these massive leaves. And in the middle of them, there was probably about 20 of them. Ugh. I hate spiders.
I love spiders.
Ugh.
See, this is where we're
Yeah.
getting into the.
Yeah, I can't hear them. You can't, they don't give you any warning. They just show up. But they were so
They're-
big, Taliesin.
They're eating all the stuff you don't like, though. They'll leave.
I
They'll
know.
leave once you've cleaned. They'll leave.
Really?
Oh
Yeah, because you've told me that they don't like the pledge.
They don't like citrus, so you can put citrus down, and for a
And
lot
they'll
of
go away.
spiders, they'll be like, ew.
The butts of these things.
Yeah.
Like the butts were this big.
Yeah,
Like that big, and then just legs.
juicy.
Floofing out, and they were so big that my brain was just like, what? Those are just out in the middle. Those are just regular ass spiders. No big deal.
I mean, intense ass spiders. Apparently,
Yes.
There's actually. I was told. This is another wonderful. I was taught a piece of Australian slang that made me very happy.
Ooh, I like this.
Which is, we're not here to fuck spiders.
Oh wait, I heard this too.
Yeah.
Yes,
And the-
because we were talking to one of
the hairstylist.
the
during
hairstylist that was at the second theater that we played at.
Yeah.
and she was so fun. And she said,
Oh, it was the guy next to
"No,
her,
it was the
and
guy
then,
at the first show."
yeah, not here to fuck
We're not here to
spiders. I
fuck
can't do it.
spiders.
But which is hilarious because one of my favorite songs, sadly, like hard to, is about fucking a spider. So I was like, that's crazy because I have a whole song that is very dear to me about fucking a spider and eventually dating a spider.
Okay, wait, break this down for me though.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It means we're not here to fuck around.
We're not here to fuck around.
Yeah, we're here to get things done, which apparently like not getting things done is about arachnid sex, I suppose. I don't quite know how that works.
Because if you're getting to the point of arachnid sex, you've just like gone off the deep end.
I guess, but like, you know, don't kink shame. I don't know.
I agree with you.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's
What
a
if
lot there.
That's something you're into.
It's yeah.
That same hairstylist, because it was I can't remember his name, but
Yeah.
he was so cool.
Yeah, he was super cool.
He was so cool.
I'm
And
sad I'm
when
blanking.
he did my hair, and I was like, I like it real big and messy. And I was like, I like it, you know, to look like you've just had like a romp in the hay. You know, trying to be really polite about what I'm
very-
trying to ask for. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you want the JBF?" And I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
just been fucked."
wow! It took me a minute to get there.
And I was like, "Yes, that's exactly the hair that I want."
Yeah, no.
And he gave it to me.
Apparently not by
he
a spider,
gave me
though.
the hair,
Okay.
not. He gave me the hair that I
At
asked
some
for.
point, I'm going to have to put a link to that spider song up because it makes me so happy.
Yes, we've got to put it on the playlist.
It's only like it's not well known enough to be like on like the Spotify's, which is so you kind
Oh,
of have to hunt
yeah.
it down. But it's delightful and hilarious.
I heard a song
Yeah.
at. Okay, let me pull this out. So, first
Oh, you
of
brought
all,
notebooks.
well, I always have my notebook, but this I bring with me. And let me just tell you all something about me. I love notebooks so much. And this brand, this isn't. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but I just love this. Lecaterm or whatever. I don't know. Leichterm. I don't know how to say the brand name, but I use their notebooks exclusively. This one has a little like accordion pocket.
I
in the
love
back
an
of it.
accordion pocket.
And then on the other side of it is the notebook. So this is the notebook that I bring for travel. And then I always put my little keepsakes in here.
Oh wow!
I always keep my airplane
I
tickets.
oh wow!
When I travel. Qantas,
Yeah, no,
the shit.
it was great.
It was great. But what I was bringing up was we went to, and this is a coaster, from this place called Jam Bar. And it was an old...
You went. I didn't go.
You didn't go?
No, I was not at Jam Bar. So
You didn't go because we went a couple times.
yeah, no, I wasn't there any of
Why
the
did I
times.
think you were there?
I have that effect.
I'm making
No,
it
elaborate though.
there.
I'm excited.
Jam Bar was great. They had it was a really cool. It's like all vinyl records. The lighting was so cool. It was like
Oh yeah, I did not.
there's-
I could not find a record store to save my damn life.
They didn't sell records there, but they played them while you're like sitting at the bar and
that's
having
nice.
the best drinks. And I heard a version of a song that I can't find on Spotify or anywhere, but you can find it on YouTube. And it is a cover of Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall.
Ooh.
And it's by a band called Snatch.
Oh.
Okay? So just look it up on YouTube and listen to it. It's a very cool cover.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Two YouTube songs.
2 YouTube songs.
I mean-
So don't... What did you call it?
Oh.
Don't something...
We're not here to fuck spiders.
We're not
Is
here to
that
fuck
it? It
spiders.
says,
But wait, what's the spider song?
I don't remember the exact term, but I believe it's fuck a spider. I'll have to look it up. It's got like a little animated like spider visual. The visual doesn't matter. It's just there, but it's really stupid, and I love the song because it's got like 5 good jokes in it.
Great.
I figure I'll finish I've had a few nature experiences out there.
Okay.
I got accosted by a group of kangaroos in the wild.
You did?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
What do you mean?
I was out in the country because I kind of got out into the country a little bit.
Yes, which I was very jealous
It was
of.
lovely. Spent some time like near a little rainforesty area and near this delightful small town, and had those sort of experiences. It was really adorable, and it became evening. It got late, and there was a kangaroo and then 2 kangaroos. I'm like, oh my God, and I'm terrible at taking photos or videos, and I'm trying to take photos and videos. And I start taking videos. I'm walking through. There's a photo
Oh my
of
God.
one of them. You can see, or there are two of them in there.
They're just sitting out.
Yeah, they were just, and like it's much darker. I managed to get like a light looking.
And it's like it's so cool being at a place where just the animals are completely different than what you have at home.
And like and they started moving towards this little burn pile, and like I was like, I'm going to videotape this because they're doing the little hop, and I start following them because I've got like a little bit of a walk before I get to my little house that I'm staying at. And
swear
then
I'm trying
there's
to
like a
film these
third one,
kangaroos.
like a family that comes up. I'm like, oh, and then there's like 2 or 3 more that start showing up in a circle around me.
Uh-oh.
And
on,
I
you
kind of have to drop the video and run bloody murder.
You're like, this is
oh,
how
no.
you get killed. They're like,
Oh no,
"Hey,
they're
we're so
surrounding me.
cute."
I gotta go.
Oh, he's oh boy, oh no, and yeah, like
Oh my God.
they were just So I got a bit of that. I got some good photos of parrots out in the wild, and then
God, the birds.
we went to the zoo.
Oh, the Melbourne Zoo, which is going to ruin us for the rest of our lives. So I went to 2 zoos.
You zooed.
I
Okay.
zooed across
Zooed.
Australia, which I'm weird about zoos.
Well, they're weird.
They're weird. Like, it sucks that the animals are in captivity, and sometimes they're very bad zoos and they're not well taken care of. But the other side of it is it teaches people. I don't know. It's complicated. Zoos are complicated for me.
I mean, as someone who deals with a lot of people in museums
Yeah.
and otherwise, my feeling on zoos is the good zoos do their best to make the animals comfortable, often use rescue animals who cannot be released back into the wild.
Yeah.
Or are trying to save animal populations that are endangered.
Which is awesome.
But everyone agrees there will come a point in history where people look back and go, wow, what the
That was
hell,
weird.
kids?
Yeah.
That's not good. And yeah, both these things are true.
Yeah.
And that's okay for things to be complicated.
It's complicated. And
everything
I
is
understand the
complicated.
research that can be done at
Yeah.
a zoo. I like the preservation and how it sort of teaches you, like, oh, you go and you care about it.
Yeah.
And so as a kid, you're like, I want to take care of my land and the animals that are in it. And it's complicated.
It
But I
is.
mean, look at these babies. So so I did meet a koala. So I went to 2.
I didn't
went
get to meet. You met a koala.
the first
This is the only
zoo-
koala I've met.
The first zoo that I went to was in Sydney, and it was called Featherdale. And you go and you get your little food, and you can feed some of them. And I got to see a quokka.
Oh, quokkas are
And
adorable.
Look at that, and the look at this little kangaroo.
Oh, with a
little
roo in the
baby,
pouch.
little Joey.
Yeah. Or Joey, that's right.
little Joey in the pouch.
Joey in the pouch.
And it was so cute. It kept like hopping out. And then it would get a little bold and try to like look around, and then he'd get nervous and he'd go back in his mom's
That's
pouch.
really cute.
And that wallabies. I'm obsessed with wallabies.
Wallabies? They're
Not wallabies.
No, I was
That's
about to
a-
say that looks like is that a pygmy?
No, it's
no.
a- it's
Okay, there
a-
we go. I couldn't see
a-
it well.
Why am I blanking on what they're called?
Wombat.
Wombat.
Wow,
Thank you. Thank you, Athena. So yes, it's a wombat, and their butt is made out of bone,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can use that as their defense mechanism. And they're
That's great.
such big round boys, and I just wanted to snuggle them, but I know they're mean.
I love a platypus, but like they're obviously not petable because they've got all sorts of they have all sorts of issues. They get spiky, and then they do weird. They eat with their beak in a very.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not even
a
a beak. I
weird-
shouldn't call it that.
It's a weird thing. And then we have, on the left, I think that's one of your wild
Yeah, that was just a
parrots.
parrot. I was just walking through the rainforest and went parrot.
That was just out in the wild.
Yeah. Well, actually, I want to show a tree. My favorite tree that I saw the
I
entire
have
time.
a tree too that I brought a picture of.
So this is a strangler fig.
Oh,
So that's actually
look at that thing.
So there's actually a dead tree that it killed because everything is dangerous. It strangles a real tree and grows around it. I've got a few pictures. I can get actually
What?
closer so you can see like the dead like.
Whoa, you
try
can
that
see
third one.
the original tree in there.
Yeah, there's one more photo that I think is even. There we go. Yep.
Whoa.
So you can see how it's just kind of gotten in there and just sort of
Taken
overtaken
over.
it, and then there's just the cadaver of another tree.
That is so cool.
Everything. It's interesting because I don't think there are a lot of like predator animals in Australia. Like a lot of them just got killed off by people, and so these are.
this is just what.
Well, it's just
yeah.
a lot of animals that have defense mechanisms that are really intense, rather than
Yes.
cause,
Very much so. Like
but-
this beautiful, I can't remember what it was.
I know,
it was a stork of some sort. And he was so majestic.
Yeah, the birds
and he was,
really,
came up to about here on, like, they're tall.
yeah,
And he was just very regal, and he just
I
kept his
mean,
head down.
lovely.
Oh, and then there was is that a kookaburra? Yes. And those, like, seeing those in person, like, seeing all of I love birds. But seeing this in person they're big.
Mm-hmm.
They're big, and their heads
They
are
make
big.
great noises too. One of the
Oh my
zookeepers just gave me a whole, like, as we were walking through, he was like, you can hear the different calls of different birds out here, and
It's
the ones that make the
so
noise. Yeah,
neat.
it was fun.
It's so cool. Look at these two little lovers on the right. So those little parrots were there, and then
One of them is a superhero because they're hiding their identity.
Yeah, he's hiding his identity for sure.
He's wearing a mask. There we are.
This was just a beautiful falcon. No, I took pictures of what they all were, and I'm
didn't
sorry,
load them.
I'm not
No, I should have.
able to remember that. But look at this.
I didn't label mine properly. Oh,
Like that was just, and so it was kind of hard because the birds, when they're in enclosures and you're like, you don't want to be in here. This makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
But my goodness, to see that in person was something else.
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. We're like, when Tiger King came out and all that stuff, and everybody's like, wanting to
I
see
knew
the
too
little
much
cats.
because I knew
know.
people who had dealt with that, that dude, and so I knew a
You already
little
knew
too
too
much.
much?
I knew too much. Yeah.
See, I hate that shit.
Yep.
But honestly, if someone had like a little pet panther or something, I'd want to pet it. And I'd want to take pictures with it.
So I got to.
I know how bad it is.
So bad, and honestly, they'll
wouldn't.
turn one day. But
Yeah, it'll turn.
I did get to see the lions at one of the zoo. I did get to see, and I have a little either photos or video, and it's going to look worse than it is, because we got to see the lions right before their feeding time.
Ooh.
So
they were probably just hungry.
well, they
and
get put into this room. They know what's happening, so they get put into this room while they go and put the food in their real enclosure. So they are basically like, food's coming. I know I get to eat. I know I get to eat.
they're so hungry.
So yeah, this is just like the waiting room for the restaurant. So this is not actually where they
Isn't
live.
it crazy being
Where they
that
live is
close?
beautiful. Yeah. And yeah, I got to be like,
You're like, this is a chain link fence between us, and that's it.
yeah. And there's actually, there are subsonic
gorgeous
sounds
boy.
that lions make in their roars that are actually designed to well, they're not designed, but they actually do like trigger paranoia and fear it is still
Well,
in
you
the
can
human
feel it.
system. They're like, oh
It's like a brown note
yeah.
where you like instantly want to shit your pants.
I mean, you're
'cause
you're
like,
not
I'm
far
gonna die
off.
right now.
Yeah, and it's a communication system that they use to, and yeah, so they were, and I got to watch them. Well, we all got to watch them feed later.
Yes, we had different. When we went to the Melbourne
Yeah.
Zoo, which the crew or the people that work at the zoo in Melbourne were so awesome and gave us such an incredible tour. I mean, we were such a big group of us. It was everyone from CR and some friends that we had, and I mean, there was like over 20 of us.
Oh, well
I don't know,
over. We were
probably more than
a
that.
crowd.
And they just took us to so many, we just got to see such incredible things.
All the
and
best stuff.
Some of them were familiar with Critical Role, which was fun. And not that's what made the tour great, but they were just so wonderful to us. And I think it will be so hard to ever have another experience.
I'll also say, and like, I think it may have almost, I felt, well, there's a,
so we got,
you guys did. I didn't get to do this one.
you weren't in this group?
No. I had the lions.
You
keep
had the
going.
lions.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so we had. I also really love monkeys, so I was very excited about the encounter with a lemur.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't touch them, of course, which is totally fine. I really wanted to,
No.
but I didn't. I was
No.
a very good girl. But you have to wear masks because they can get the same things that humans get. And they each have to get their little COVID vaccines.
Oh, that's cute.
Or didn't they just have little ones, which I thought was so cute. But they were just eating carrots and having a good time. And the baboons.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I know baboons are not I've seen baboons before,
Yeah.
but this guy, he literally had a stick like a walking stick that he was walking around with, which I didn't film it. But look at him. Look at him just looking at his hands like a person. He's just like, what is this shit on here? I just got to get this off real quick. Like,
He's
it's
looking
so
at his hands like a
fascinating
person.
But like,
No, I want to. You don't get to just say that and
I
walk
know.
away.
Listen.
Okay.
I know. But it's so weird when you just see it and you're just like, this is
He
so
also
crazy.
thinks it's weird just seeing it clearly because he's looking at his hands going, wow, this is so human.
I know. And then so this little lemur, look at him. He was just leaning on both me and Liam.
Oh, a lemur on Liam.
A lemur on Liam.
Yeah,
and their
a
little
lemur.
feet look like tarantulas.
I love that.
Yeah. Like, look at those little feet.
But we have been putting off the. Oh my God, they're
Don't they
so
look
cute
like
with
little
those
tarantulas?
knuckles. They do. We've been walking around the main event though.
Yes.
And the main event is the red panda. Let's be honest.
The red panda. Well, hold on.
Okay, no, we'll get there.
See, here
We'll
we
get
have a
there.
quokka. Okay, and the quokka, which we didn't get any smiling quokkas, which I guess the truth about quokkas is when you see them, pictures of them, and they're like smiling really big, it's because people take pictures with them when they're eating. And when they're eating, they do like a little funny thing with their mouth.
Yeah.
But they kind of look like little baby kangaroos. Okay, so the main event.
Mm-hmm.
The red panda, which we didn't know was going to be there.
Mm-mm.
Took us all by surprise. We all just couldn't handle it. Like, it was like we all were, anything this animal was doing, we were all like, oh.
Yeah, it was just, the show just went on and on and on.
It was
you would go up from the tree, come down out of the tree, walk around a little bit.
He paced a lot.
Yeah, was showing off.
Yeah, he was really showing off.
Yeah.
He was like, I know you guys think I'm cute. Let me show you what this looks like when I climb up this.
Yeah, what happens when I rub my face?
Yes.
Like, I love it when it does
that's
the
so
face rub.
cute.
Yeah, it's a.
It was
I was
just
not prepared.
a dream. I was not prepared
No.
either.
No, I didn't understand what the big deal was, and now it's
I've always
now it's all I think about.
I've loved I can't stop thinking about it. I love a red panda, but I don't think I realized they were so small.
Yeah, that's fair too.
They
They were smaller than I was
expecting. They were
expecting.
smaller than what I was expecting,
Yeah.
and even cuter than I was
They're
expecting.
much cuter.
Oh my gosh. Look at his little face. He's just such a little dummy. Oh, I love him so much.
I will admit I do love an ugly animal.
I love
Like a
an
fruit
ugly
bat.
animal.
I love a fruit bat.
Love a fruit bat.
God.
Oh my gosh.
the best.
Blobfish.
Oh,
Anything.
the theory of blobfish. I can't actually stare at them for reasons, but yeah.
You hate
because I
you don't
can't
like
handle fish. But which is also why I didn't do the seal encounter with it, like when it was offered, is because.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
because
couldn't do
it's
that.
it's close enough to a fish.
Well, they also, if you like, they're eating them, and I'm like,
Oh,
I
you
don't
gotta
want to
throw
look
them
at
the
that.
fish?
Or they're I'm not sure, but like I was well aware it could go very poorly for me, so I ignored it.
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
You
know.
were looking out for yourself.
You have to, if you are responsible for at least figuring out the boundaries of your mental health. And again, boundaries are
true.
important. And,
Boundaries are very important.
yeah, and if you don't exercise them, how do you know you have them? Yeah, like it's one of my favorites is you have boundaries, prove it.
Yes. Oh, I actually
I don't
love that.
believe you.
I love that.
Show me one.
Yeah.
So now that we've done animals,
Well, I might have to talk about one more animal. I'm so
one more
sorry.
animal because
So
we
I
still have
think it
minerals
was-
and vegetables.
We
So
still have
let's-
minerals and vegetables.
Yeah.
My favorite animal
Mm-hmm.
that we saw, which actually took me by surprise, was a platypus.
I love a platypus.
Love a platypus, and I've never seen one in person.
Mm.
And this kind of, since I was a kid, this stuffed animal that I have, not this one, but
That's not a platypus. Or if it is, that poor platypus has seen better
I know.
days.
I have, it's a little stuffy that my dad gave me when I was 5, and it's a platypus. And so I've always loved platypuses. Finally got to see one in person, and they're scary.
Yeah. No,
So
you don't want to mess with
our
one.
friend Matt Key got this video, and so they put in his area, his environment, they put in these things called yabbies, which are basically like little crawdads, and it was absolute carnage.
Yep. They use their nose.
They use they can't see underwater, so they listen.
And then that nose goes straight for whatever
Yeah.
they're eating. And they're after their little spinelink.
This one, he got it in his mouth, and he like went like this, and he ripped it in half, and he ate the bottom half, and then the top half of the yabby, the crawdad, like had his hands up and was just falling to the ground like this, and got to the bottom and was just, he was alive for like a minute.
Yeah.
And just sitting there, and I felt so bad for him.
That's like the end of Titanic. Is just that's what happened when you go down.
Yeah,
is
he was
Jack? Jack was alive down there for quite a while doing a little thing.
He was alive, just doing his little crabby hands.
For at least a minute.
But he really, the platypus took me by surprise. He had so much personality. Look at him go! Look at him rip that thing apart.
So if you're next time we're in London, you know my little brother works at like this weird little wonderful LARPy theme park called Phantom Peak.
Yes.
Which is kind of this faux Americana thing, and they have a religion in the park. Like there is actually like an old timey Salvation religion, except they worship a golden platypus. So they actually have a giant golden platypus statue. So you'll be excited by that.
Oh my God,
it's
I can't
beautiful.
wait.
Yeah.
Ugh. It was just, yes, it was amazing. Okay. Moving on from animals.
Yeah, mineral or vegetable. And by that, I mean rocks or cities.
Let's do rocks.
Let's do
mineral.
So, again, our friend of the show, Tom Cardy.
Hi, Tom Cardy.
Wonderful musician. Worth your time.
Absolutely.
You can
find him
them
on all the socials. Maybe we can.
Yeah, no, start on YouTube and make your way down. On Spotify as well. Does the whole thing.
Oh, yes, it's Spotify as well.
We got to talking because he's a soft boy.
He's a soft boy.
He's such a soft boy. He was like, how do you feel about opals? And I'm like, opals are great. He's like, you should go to the Opal Museum.
I wanted to go to the Opal Museum so bad.
Opal Museum was amazing. It was tiny, and mostly they sold opals. But like one of the things they talked about that I really loved.
What is that thing?
That's a pliosaur. And when we get in, there's a thing that happens where opal will like seep into the cracks of like fossils and fossilized objects, and so you can see the bones there are filled with opal.
Wait,
so that's
how
a big
would that
opal.
happen?
It apparently because of the way that like it creates hollows over time, like the opals form in them. There's actually I have a log over here that I really like as well, and you can see.
Whoa!
If we get a little closer.
Look at that.
Yeah, right.
I love opals so much.
So I bought.
Did you get some?
Well, opals are also really, really expensive, but I did find, and we'll do our best to show this off. You can see it's.
Oh my God!
And I was trying to find one that wasn't polished, but it is and you have to kind of move it to get the sheen.
Wait, you wanted to find one that wasn't polished?
Yeah, this one, like I would have loved something a little bit more raw, but this I'm very happy with. You kind of have to give it that twist to get the red veins.
So cool,
right? And it was
so
also,
would this be considered like a fire opal since it has
it
the
is
red?
not a fire opal.
It's not a fire opal. Okay. I don't know anything about it.
No, I like fire opals are really rare and expensive. Wow. Oh, God. But a lot of the times, from what I understand, thin layers of opal can also pull up the colors that are below them. So like they can make opals look brighter by and cheaper and affordable by finding like an ultra thin, wafer thin opal slice and then putting it on black glass so that the black like shoves the light up. So that's one of the ways you can get really, really what looks like a very pretty opal when it's just not. Wow. Yeah, it's not like an opal.
Yeah,
it's just a tiny layer of opal set on glass so that it can pop and get bright.
Yeah, I guess it's there are many opal mines there.
It's from what I understand, it's where most opals come from.
That is so. I never knew that.
Yeah, no, and
never knew that.
They're beautiful.
I'm so glad you got something.
I had to get something because and it was just I love. I mean, obviously, I made a D&D character made of rock, and opal was one of the rocks involved because my heart.
It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, and I'm perfectly okay like owning or dealing with things that can fake an image. I don't need to.
The real
especially
thing.
Like rare minerals tend to be. It's a lot that goes into pulling them out of the ground that is not necessarily great, and we can artificially make some of them. Like we can grow a diamond now. That's easy.
Yeah,
we call it a different thing, but that's bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, getting to see all of these opals and getting to like the ridiculous museum. The museum had like these wonderful.
What creature are you standing next to?
I think that is the pliosaur. I actually, because I'm an idiot, I did not actually add any of the labels that I took of everything.
Of course, that's what I did with the birds. I had them all
because I put these,
and I just.
I throw these in a little folder at 2:00 in the morning when my brain is at its peak.
Yeah.
But yeah, the opals, going to see opals, both cut and otherwise, was stunning. I ended up going to like a second opal museum, and they.
You did?
Yeah.
Dang! Oh yes, look at him there.
Oh yeah, that was the don't move, because otherwise it will be the shortest Jurassic Park film ever.
That's such a good picture. Oh my God.
But yeah, and they showed all the different kinds of opals and the different colors that they turn, and it's just, I mean, it's one of the most stunning gems on,
It's so beautiful. There's so many colors. It's just so magical looking. It looks like they're made by fairies or something.
Yeah, right? That's just amazing.
It feels like a magical stone.
It definitely does. Yeah, I should know the technical because I know so many people who will chastise me because you have a degree, you leave me alone.
Oh my gosh. What was the what's your vegetable?
So I really connected other than going into the country. I went to a small town, but I'm just for a little while, which was really nice. But I really connected with Melbourne.
I wish I would have had more time in Melbourne
because it had the I like a city that feels heavy with history, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
where it feels like it's seeped into the ground. Oh yeah, we're we're good. We'll get to that. So Melbourne, there's like these beautiful old, like what I can only describe as Victorian semi-outdoor malls that have glass and all
like
of
an arcade?
Like arcades. Thank you. It's
because I found this fascinating too. Like and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
And there were also like weird little, they had a lot of great alleys, and they had like a little cyberpunk alley like that was beautiful that we went into at one point. That was just like interesting ramen shops and pizzeria, but it was all graffiti all the way down and beautiful and super thin. And that was a great time. But one of my favorite there were two things. Did you go to the magic store?
I didn't, and I wanted to go to the magic store, but I never made it over there.
So
I'm sad about it.
So we went to this magic store. What was it called?
Just gonna have to go back.
It was called the Spell Box. They had two of them in this little amazing little arcade. This arcade apparently had what they claimed to be like the oldest barber shop in Australia. And we went to the Spell Box, and one of the things I found, they had these little wheels that you could spin, and you would get a random spell. But they had a tiny house in the, and I took a video of this tiny, because I knew you would care, because this is your vibe.
It's something teeny.
It is, and because I know how we all feel about
teeny
tiny things. So you can see, like there was like, there's a tiny little cottage, and look inside.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It was just a tiny house. And that is my favorite thing on earth. Like
it's just like a little hidden art piece that's just around the corner.
Exactly.
And
it's perfect.
You can shut the door and it's just like another little life going on in there.
And then this was I need to look up the name of this store I went to, and I should probably look up the name of the artist. I love a curse doll.
We know you love a curse doll, and I do too. You've passed that on to me.
Yeah.
I want to get one of these.
I have the artist's name. I will maybe put it we'll maybe put
later
it in the credits.
We can put it here.
But
my God,
stunning dolls, and absolutely terrifying.
You got one of these.
That's the one I got.
That's the boy you got.
That's the boy I got.
What did you name him? Do they have names already?
They have name. I'm still debating whether or not I'm keeping the real name or not.
Okay.
but it is a great name.
What are they made out of?
Mixed media, so to
Great.
speak, but they're not. There's
Is it
nothing.
like a paper mache situation?
There's a bit of that, or like cloth and like mache
little
cloth
clothes.
and the
Look
little
at his
eyes.
little lace bow
I know.
and his eyes. He just looks like
such
such
a
little...
huge. So I had to.
They are?
Oh yeah, I had to put him in his own box to get him home, and I'm so excited that somebody had to like scan that and see what
And be
was
like,
inside.
what is this in here? What a beautiful boy he
He's
is.
a beautiful boy.
Oh, he's just a creature.
But my favorite thing, Marisha and I are really good at urban splunking on a certain level.
Yes.
And she has my thing of, ooh, what's that? And so we
What's
found
over
an alley. And
Yeah, I heard about this, and I'm very excited
so
to see pictures.
you can
now.
see
Look at
this
the little
image.
Skinny little alley.
Look at those beautiful, beautiful buildings, and there's a tiny little alley. And what's that? There's a why? Why is there a beautiful stained glass window down an
What
alley?
is that down there?
Why is this here? And you can see it says deposit. That beautiful building next to it just says safety deposit boxes. And you're like, why is there a beautiful safety deposit box building there? Which clearly has always been that because the name is in the bloody stone and not added on. Safe deposit. It just says safe deposit.
And they're like, well, we
Why?
just have to keep this on the building because it was
But
carved in stone.
yeah, but like that's a very pretty building to make safe to put
Yes,
safe deposits
yes.
in.
It's a gorgeous building.
with a window, and so I go down. I don't go down. Marisha goes running down that alley. I need to Google that because that was on a door, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. That's a whole thing. And she goes down. I'm like, is it worth it? And she goes, yes. And so we walk down, and we walk down the glass, and then we look to our right, and there we find a small door that leads. We find a small door. It's like, and it's a glass door, and I look inside, and it's very pretty. And there's a Dalek from Doctor Who for some reason, and it says the Museum of Banking.
That is so wild.
There is the Museum of Banking.
Was it cool? I mean,
yes,
did you learn anything?
yes. I learned a lot, and and it was also stunning inside. We can pull up a few images. Like that's it. Like
Wow.
it's.
So was this a bank? This must have been a bank. at
Oh,
one
it is.
point.
It was a functional bank, from what I understood.
What?
But it's beautiful inside. They have like royal crests on this, and then they have like beautiful old. They had like one of the switchboards that they used for
Wow.
getting. Yeah, they're like and everything. There we go. Everything is beautifully carved and extremely ornate, and they had like ledgers from like the 19th century still set up.
Oh, cool.
And the one thing, like the piece of paper, he was like, this is going to be leaving soon. So I thought it had like a little leather scroll on top of it to protect it from the light. And he pulled it up, and it's one of the original architectural drawings of the building that we were in.
On leather?
And like there was a leather cover to it, and he lifted this giant leather cover. And this is like the building that we were in.
That is so cool.
And this neighborhood was filled with buildings that looked like churches, but all of them were in fact they were all banking and money institutions, and they were. And I got a whole conversation about how Melbourne had been one of the richest cities in the world for like a good 10
there was
or 15
a big
years.
gold rush.
Huge gold rush. And why all of these, and like through mergers, why like this had become this insanely ornate bank, and all these banks did so well. And it was really, I love a weird museum, and a museum of banking was really interesting.
I think that's fascinating.
And then I finally found out that the Dalek was there because it was used in a commercial at one point. But I thought putting a Dalek in a museum of banking was hilarious.
I bet.
You don't know what a
I
Dalek
don't know
is
why
yet.
that would be funny, but yeah.
I can't wait.
A Dalek is a phone booth.
No, a Dalek is like an evil trash can with a plunger attached that for some strange reason is horrifying. Am I wrong? I will fix her. I promise.
No, but I love it though.
I promise I will fix her. I'm going to fix her.
I love being irritating about it.
Yeah. You and Sam. But we fixed Sam finally. We just need to fix you.
I know.
You don't even have to leave your home.
God,
The
I know.
kids will love it. But yeah, go ahead, because that's my
I feel
museum
like
of banking.
That's just. I mean, there was another thing
Everyone
like,
was-
the coffee in Australia. I'm a big coffee nerd, and the coffee there, like I had so much coffee a day, and also the sizes.
Oh, we're perfect.
So small, like when you get a cup of coffee there versus here in America, where it's like a big gulp of coffee.
And the coffee shops and the bars were adorable and cute and interesting.
Oh my God. This one place we went to in Sydney called Marlowe's Way, and I would just have flat whites, and it was such a cool place.
It was really nice.
There was another place.
You brought me there.
Oh yes,
yeah. You demanded I get coffee, and you were right.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was really
good coffee. Another place in Melbourne, it was called Code Black Coffee, and they called themselves a morning bar, where I guess like if you're out and you got to sober up, you can go and you can get your coffee in the morning. But it was like the coffee was insane. Yes.
I should have.
So this
okay,
thing,
go. Oh, thank God.
This delicious. Okay, so on the left with this little spoon, that was in Marlowe's Way, and they just had these little vintage spoons.
Those spoons look like the ones that you get at bus stops to collect them everywhere you've gone, which I'm amused by. Oh, and
on the right, this was their concoction of coffee that they made.
Is that?
And I
paprika?
had something similar when I was in Japan. And so this was a very like sort of
paint me a picture.
It felt like a coffee shop in Japan, but with a different flair. But the coffee it had espresso cream, espresso foam cream with nutmeg, orange zest.
You have me at nutmeg, but carry on.
And it was just like an iced latte.
That looks beautiful.
I mean, for the amount of time that we were in Melbourne,
which was
not a lot.
I drank more coffee in Australia than I have in
Yes, I just in love. And
the
food there was just
phenomenal.
So crazy. Like all of the food, there were so many incredible. I mean, I could go on and on with a list of restaurants and things, which I don't need to do.
Like I enjoyed the bars. All of them were like beautiful and
incredible
interesting.
Bars.
Only once did I have. Hilariously, I will not say which bar, but it was hilarious because it was like not. It was like not the bar for this. It was
not.
It was definitely not the bar for this. I don't know how else to say it other than like it was such a nerdy bar.
Yeah.
And then immediately I am, for some strange reason, and I get why, immediately accosted by 3 men in the bathroom who really want me to do cocaine with them.
And one of
them is definitely on other stuff too. And I'm just
oh my God.
I appreciate that you think I'm that
so
fun,
much.
but I'm gonna go now.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I'm gonna really try and not upset you as I do this. And you keep being you. I really feel like you're at the wrong bar for this. I do. Like,
man.
There's no clientele here who have ever smoked pot. Let's be honest.
Yes.
These are kids who are
you're
still
going straight to cocaine here, folks.
Yeah, no, like there's not anyone.
Down the street.
Yeah, and they clearly understood that they were in the wrong bar too, but they didn't know what to do. They were on the phone a lot trying to figure out what to do.
Man, we did the last night.
Oh God, it was so sad.
I think the last night you and I both were there. We did do a ghost tour.
We did.
Marisha corralled us all to do a walking ghost tour. Yes. And this bar, it was so cool. It was like a house, but it was, I guess, considered one of the oldest pubs, bars that are in Melbourne. I think it was called Lock and Key.
Yeah, well, and it's every town you go to, every city you go to, there's like 3 bars to 5 bars who all fight over whether or not this is true.
Yes, of course.
It's one of them.
Yes, and it was just like...
I got a meat-flavored drink.
I got an avocado-flavored drink.
You got the avocado drink, which was great.
And it tasted like drinking salsa, but it was good.
And then mine tasted like a leg of lamb.
Roast.
Yeah, it was like a leg of lamb. It had some rosemary, and which is a weird thing to say, but it was great.
And they had like the bar food.
Yeah.
They had these grilled cheese sandwiches that were so stupid, and I wanted to eat 10 of them. And they were delicious.
I kind of like the last thing I have to say.
We should show
is
this.
As we were walking through, getting this very fun and interesting. I mean, it was less a ghost tour and more of a like interesting history tour, and I love an interesting history tour.
Yes,
and
because there hasn't. I mean, the. Go ahead.
No,
I'm gonna tell my thought in a moment.
Yeah, and I appreciated it because it was modern enough that it wasn't too Eurocentric. Because even from a young age, while I didn't understand what that was, I'm always a big fan of understanding that history is just a perspective. and it's a series of interesting stories with perspective, and like finding the more occult perspectives is really interesting to me and always has been. And up until very recently, those stories were the occult perspective. Like I can read a book about some of this, but like the other stuff is so much more interesting. Like there's 100 books about half the stories that you would hear on these tours, and then there's 3 books about the stories you don't hear. And
Yes.
I really
Yes.
dug that.
Yeah.
There was a thing, we were walking down an alley, which was, I believe it was used to be the most dangerous alley in Brisbane, but
Yeah, in Melbourne.
in
Yes.
Melbourne. And this sign says, commit occasional nuisance.
Yeah, we both got there. So there were two signs. One of
Yeah.
them said commit. Both of them said commit nuisance, and somebody wrote something in between.
Yeah, so it's supposed to say no, commit no nuisance, except people kept blanking out the no and adding
Yes.
things over and over again. That's kind of
So
what
they
people
left it.
do. So they've just, I mean, at this point, yeah, and this is apparently a sign that's been up forever because there was only a certain point in the past where anyone thought that painting a sign that says commit no nuisance was actually a worthwhile.
Yeah, it's like someone's committing nuisance, and they're like, you know what? I should stop.
Yeah, no, or as opposed to being like, I am going to write something else there.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just begging. It's begging for another paint job.
What a fascinating place.
And I agree. Commit occasional nuisance is perfectly reasonable.
You know, it's crazy. Not to bring us on
no,
a downer
well, we
note.
have to.
When I got there, I don't even know why I'm telling this story. This is a little
No, I mean,
depressing.
like I was going to say,
But I
we're going to
think
be
the
ending on whatever
comparison-
this note is going to be, whatever note we end on.
So there was a while we were there,
Mm.
there was a police officer constable
A constable.
that was shot and killed while we were there. And
Oh, yes.
I heard on the news that the last time that had happened was in 1922. And I think that was so wild for me as an American watching the news there.
Oh,
And I was like, excuse me? The last time that happened was in 1922?
oh, yeah.
It's I don't know. It's very different.
Oh,
It
I'll
was
also
a-
say, yeah, well, and there's a thing that happens because we did some autograph signings
Yes.
there. And I am used to, we've been doing this a long time. And I am used to a certain percentage of the people who are in that line are having a bad time.
Yeah.
Not at the show, but in general.
in life.
In life,
Life is
things
dumb
are
dirty.
not fair.
Yeah.
And they're going through things that are a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there was a significantly less of that,
Yeah, there was.
like by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to every 4 people having, talking to me just at least, and sharing. And I appreciate it of like why they watch the show, what it means, and also like what they're dealing with. It's usually like 1 in 4, 1 in 5. This was like 1 in 80.
Yeah.
And I realized it was because they all have access to mental health facilities and
They take care of their citizens.
yeah, and I'll also say, like, I had an American friend who, like, like 6 months ago, a little while ago, had a heart attack out there. Didn't have insurance. It didn't have anything. $350. So make of that what you will. Anyway,
Like you would be, regardless of insurance, you would be paying for that for a long time.
yeah, probably.
It's
I get a lot of we get a lot of free drinks just telling horror stories. Let me tell you that
Yes.
I will say in London, and I did this a couple times in Australia. I was like, buy me a beer, and I will tell you something terrible. And I don't think I disappointed anybody.
no, I bet you didn't.
Yeah,
I
no,
bet you didn't.
yeah,
God, I can't wait to go back.
yeah.
I can't wait to go back.
And-
There is something that I got.
Okay,
As a
because we
present-
should finish this up. We are running.
Yes, I know
Right.
we're running. We've gone long, but there was a couple presents that I wanted to share of things that
Actually, yeah.
when we
We'll do one more thing. I know we're going to run long, a little
yeah
long,
yeah
but
we'll
like
run long. It's okay.
because I have a thing as well. So
Okay.
you bring on yours.
Meeting the wonderful people that live in Australia and talking
Mm-hmm.
to some of the fans and some of the people who also have started listening to Weird Kids.
Thank you for
which is
listening
so cool.
to the show.
And I got a present
Mm-hmm.
from, and I kept her card, a wonderful woman. named Felicity. And it was like, this is going to be for the Weird Kids set. I am giving you this offering, which was
heard about
part
this.
of her collection as a child, and was doing a little spring cleaning and decided to bestow this magnificence on us. And it is a Jar Jar Binks mug.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's delightful.
Are you kidding me? Still in the package?
Oh.
Just look at that Jar Jar.
Ready for coffee.
What a good boy.
Just wants a flat white, doesn't he?
He just wants to be liked.
Just a little cappuccino in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I just had to bring that. And some of the stuff we got so many wonderful presents. So some of the stuff we had to send back.
I'm still waiting. Yeah, like it's as always. Like there's thing I did.
I know there's stuff I wanted to show today.
I did.
next week.
I picked up. I can't remember if this one. I did pick up a bunch of tiny things because I always love tiny things when we're traveling.
Always.
And
they're easy to travel.
And this is a tiny bar, or this is like because I love these things from Japan. This is
my God.
So I thought I don't know what's in here yet. I just opened it so that we don't have to fight. But this is a random pack of some kind of tiny bar, and I figured it could be.
Oh my God!
So I think if it's time,
open this.
I think it's time to figure out what we got in our tiny bar.
Oh my gosh!
So, yeah,
what is all of this? Oh, they're like little. Oh my goodness!
Yep.
Look at all these little pieces. We've got a martini shaker. We have a little, simple syrup. Oh, this is so cute.
So there should be, let's see, there should be a little stirrer and a straw. There's a martini shaker. There's a couple different bottles of things. There is a martini.
There's a martini with
with
which
olives.
is so cute.
And there should be olives that go with it.
There's like this little.
There we go. We got a little bar there.
The little drink, and then this
And
is
then-
like the little liquid that goes in it. Ooh.
Yep.
Come
It comes with with not only a martini, but thanks to the color, I can tell that it's got olive juice in it.
It does have olive juice.
Look at that. And then we have the tiny
We
olives
have
to put on
the
top.
Little simple syrup.
We have a little simple syrup.
We have, let's see. Let's open these. We've got the martini stuff.
And then,
I don't know how to make
well,
martini.
we actually have to put a label on that because we have the gin and vermouth labels that we get to put on. That's
real
that's
labels?
the vermouth bottle,
Oh my God.
and it says sweet vermouth on it. I'm very excited.
Okay, so now we have.
So now we have the olives that we have to put on the martini. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
That's
look
delightful.
at it.
That's delightful.
And the little lime,
And it has a little lime.
which I don't know where we put that.
The lime goes on. There's a gin and tonic somewhere around here.
Oh, I see it. It's right here. Look at this little. So this is like a. Oh, we got a little. Oh shit!
Yeah,
sorry.
no, it's just a microphone.
We got a little pitcher.
Yep.
We've got.
And the pitcher is actually
what
I
this
think it's got
is.
an absinthe spoon that goes with the pitcher.
Oh, that's what this is.
Yeah. So
I see
it comes with all of these things. It is ridiculous.
Oh my God! Look at all these tiny things.
So it's a series of wonderful tiny things.
All your tiny tools that you need to make
Yep.
yourself.
And it's also got a little shelf for them too. Oh, look, and this is for mashing. This is the little mashing thing.
And this is for making it.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's so
A
cute.
bit of everything. Okay, no, that's what it is. That goes there. But
Okay, let me
yeah,
get the
so
stickers on.
yeah, we'll put the stickers on during, I suppose, like a little later. I can't do them
What a
because,
treat and a
but
treasure.
I figured
got
you could. Yeah.
I got you.
So tiny
Well,
things.
This was just a delight.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Well, I think that may wrap it up.
I think for now,
How do we feel? Do we feel good, mate?
I
Do you feel like you've had enough? You've talked enough about Australia?
well, we didn't have to talk about
terrible.
drinking out of a shoe, so everything else is pretty good.
we did do a shoey.
Yeah, but I think say no
We
more.
did it- yeah.
We will never speak of that though.
We did a shoey.
Yeah.
Which, if you want to know what that is, maybe you look it up.
Yeah, just Google gently.
Yeah.
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 But until next time that we travel down under again,
Which hopefully will be soon.
I would
I
prefer
want to
soon.
do it again. I want to go down under again.
It was great.
Anyway,
Yeah, I've been Taliesin Jaffe, and
and I've been Ashley Johnson,
we're home and jet lagged.
and sad to be home.
And it's a little sad.
Bye, Australia.
Some very important weird information for all of our weird kids. Our new episodes are now starting to release exclusively on beacon.tv. That's right, every Tuesday.
So we are still releasing the final Weird Kids episodes from 2025 every Tuesday on our Weird Kids YouTube channel and on podcast platforms. But our new episodes are exclusively only on Beacon.tv.
Beacon.